Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with author Donna Kennedy. She wanted to write since she was in high school and began writing fictional stories based on her non-fictional life years ago for her eyes only. She wanted to write her story, but writing a memoir felt daunting, considering some of the facts she needed went to the grave with family members. Book 1 in the So Help Me God series emerged from her personal history and identity, and it's told in the only voice that it can be told in. These days, she is a divorced mother of 3 grown children, spends her time reading, quilting, traveling, writing, and watching TV series. She is a United States Air Force veteran and swears she's gypsy at heart. This is a great interview. Enjoy.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks for taking a minute out today.
No problem.
So before I get into, your writing and parts of what you do with your life right now, I'm curious with coming out of COVID, this period that we've lived through for the last 2 years. How did you do during that period, and how did you kind of change and evolve, so to speak?
I am a disabled veteran, and I pretty much stay home most of the time anyway. So when COVID hit, I had gone through a really rough year health-wise. And so it wasn't much of a change for me. Maybe it was more so I felt more comfortable and with my own skin of being able to not go out. It was more excusable. Other than, of course, people that I knew were sick and everything was going on.
So talk to me a little bit about right now, if someone was to walk up to you and ask you what you do for a living, what is it that you do? How would you answer that?
I am an author. There for a long time, I was, I was trying to figure out what I actually was. I had labels put on me for years because of being a veteran and because of, different things. And I didn't really, I was a mother, I was a grandmother, I was, all these things. But internally, I wasn't sure what I was anymore. And it took me a while to wake up in 2021 and realize who I was and felt great and life had changed. And it was just kind of surreal.
So talk to me a little bit about your childhood growing up. How did you get this motivation to write and to become who you are today?
I grew up very, very dysfunctional. And that's pretty much the story I've always wanted to tell. As I left home, I moved out at 16 to be on my own. I joined the military because I wanted a totally different life. And went on about my life. So because of the story, because of my mother's story and, before me, she always wanted to write about her story and couldn't. And I always had the desire to tell stories. And I said it for years. My adult children were like, yeah, you've said it forever. And when I finally wrote which is a now running book, everybody's just thrilled. And I'm like, I wish I'd have done it years ago,
As we go on here with this conversation and folks are like, I think I want to do this. Tell me what the book's about and why someone should pick it up.
I wrote this book. I wanted to write a memoir, but it was too daunting. It was just too much of a task because of the people that, my background thing. And I couldn't get all the facts. I pretty much just had, that was told to me as a child, and that was told, and that was told. So I sat down in beginning of January 2021, and I had been injured. My foot was injured, so I had to kind of sit for 6 weeks. And I had gone through a breakup, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with myself? I'm one of those people, I get up every day, and I have this task. I got to do this, this, and this. I really had nothing to do. So somehow this memoir I always wanted to write became fiction. And I realized that I could tuck my truth inside a fictional story. And never had I dreamed of doing that before. but the words flowed out of me. So to answer your question, I believe that people would want to read this story because I wrote it for other people who were abused or believed in labels or had this weight on them that they haven't been able to shake. I was able to shake mine. I was able through, a lot of people don't have insurance. I always had, care. I always had good care to get through PTSD, anxiety, depression, and all these things. So, help. So I wanted to write something for who maybe is a woman, girl, boy that's going through the things I went through, to let them know, there's help out there and you can survive it. And you may not find all the answers in your 20s. You may not find them in your 30s. You may find it all in your 40s, but the fact is it's there. So for the author, why would someone else want to write? I've always journaled. It was the way, and in my book, there's a scene where she journaled her life and it helped her. It was the only place the protagonist in my book is actually based on me, of course, my stuff. But she talks about, that's where she felt safe. It was the only place in her, the things that to her, and it helped her. So, she goes back and she goes through her journals and she writes this novel. Well, of course, that's true for me. So I believe it helps. It's a healing, very healing.
So you travel quite a bit around the world. How have the travels that you've been on, the places that you've lived in, added to your voice and how you view the world today?
I love to travel. I love as much as I want. As far as country, I've only been in the United States and United Kingdom. So there's still so many places I want to go. But as far as I have been all over the United Kingdom, I have been in all the United States. Just the people that you meet, that you talk to, that I'm the type of person I can sit down at a station and have an hour-long discussion with someone, and they'll end up telling me their life story. So I don't know. You just learn. I learn so much by where I go and who I meet, and it's just something I really enjoy.
Who's a role model for you? Who do you look up to and admire? I mean, that's a pretty big part of our lives. Who is that for you?
I'm going to say my mother, because of her strength, not her choices, but her strength. I'm also going to say my adult children. They have, I learned to do things and to raise my children better than I was raised. And my adult children have blown me out of the water, how down to earth, practical, that they are, based, we all are kind of what we've been raised with, unless you turn and go totally different. But yes, I don't know. My kids, really. I learned something from them every.
So if you could meet one person alive today on the planet, who would it be?
No. If I could meet one person. Let's see here. Who would I want to meet? I don't know. He's not alive anymore. I don't know. I'll tell you a good answer to that. I don't know.
That's an answer. That's an answer.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, as a writer, we all have these moments with art and lives. You guys really kind of opened the doors for you and made you think, wow, this is wonderful, just the world of literature.
Not really, as much as all the books I've read that I like to read are true stories or, people telling their story. And I think that's what's helped me the most. I am big into listening or reading or even from podcasts or documentaries. I like to hear how other people have, how it's made, how you survived it, what did you do, I'm big into that. I want to know. We're all such. I don't know. We're all so different, and I like knowing how other people survived the different things or chose the things they did. So, well, I like Elizabeth Gilbert, and I mean all of these true stories, which was kind of weird that I would make mine fiction and semi-autobiographical.
So everyone has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your fans, but ultimately you live your life.
Mm-hmm.
What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am flawed, but I am a good person with a big heart, and I'm a very loyal person, probably to a fault. And I don't know, I'm a healed person. I'm a wise person. I would have never said I was wise, but as I've got older, I have appreciated aging because I wish I would have been this wise when I was young. But no, I guess I am content. That is the best word I can use. I am a blessed woman, and it's just it took a long time to get here, and there's no better feeling in the world that I have right now.
So if anybody wants to buy your book, learn more about you, anything in your world, where should they go? How can they find out?
Right now it's on Amazon, and it's on Barnes & Noble online. Of course, like I said, just launched a month ago, so it's still going through all of its processes. But right now you can get it in those two places that I'm aware of.
Wonderful. Thank you, Donna. It's been great to get to know you. Thank you for opening up. Good luck with the book and as we move forward. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, and music around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.